Radioactive waste can be organized into three levels: high, intermediate, and low. Okay, high-level radioactive waste is from the spent fuel rods. So these have the daughter nuclei left over from the fission of the uranium. These are emitting alpha, beta, and gamma. So they're emitting ionizing radiation, so you can't go too close to them. So instead you handle them remotely, meaning using robotic hands to keep your distance away from them. And then because they're so hot, you keep them in a pool of water for at least 1 year. Okay, the reason for this is, like I said, they're emitting alpha, beta, gamma, so they're very reactive and they're still very hot. So it could be as long as 30 years sometimes. Okay, so once they've cooled down, you do something called vitrification into glass, where basically you're mixing it with molten glass. This turns into a solid. The reason why I want it to be a solid is because if it's a liquid, if any of it is liquid, it's going to leak and contaminate the environment of where the place where you store the radioactive waste. And this is vitrified into encased concrete, which also provides additional shielding of the ionizing radiation when it's being transported and handled by people. They finally store it deep underground. We're talking about a couple of 100 meters or possibly even a kilometer underground. And this is obviously to minimize the exposure of people or to this the gamma radiation that's being emitted from the radioactive isotopes inside the fuel rod. Okay, intermediate level radioactive waste, for example, the sludge and the components that are left over from a decommissioned fission reactor. These are dealt with in a similar way, so solidified into glass and increased in concrete, or sometimes steel drums like these ones here. And these can be either stored deep underground somewhere or in specially concrete reinforced buildings like this one here. Okay, low level radioactive waste, for example, paper, rags, clothing, tools, and from hospitals or university labs and factories. So these are incinerated and sealed in metal drums and then buried in trenches like this one here. So obviously this way you're providing some shielding and you're preventing it from contaminating the environment.